Some legends were never meant to be forgotten. There was something strange about that night. The wind cut through the air like invisible blades, whispering forgotten secrets between the twisted trees. In the heart of the city, hidden by the shadows of time, an abandoned amusement park remained silent, forgotten, lost. But it wasn't empty. The old signs swayed, hanging from rusty wires. The worn-out letters still formed an incomplete word: Fee, X. The iron gate creaked, slowly opening. 5 young people crossed the threshold, guided by curiosity, or perhaps by something else. The cracked ground groaned beneath their feet. Rusty roller coaster cars dangled on crooked tracks. The carousel, motionless, seemed to watch them. But in the shadows, something watched them back. Yellow eyes, glowing for a fleeting moment, disappearing too quickly to be noticed. On the ground, small, wet paw prints trailed along the path, leading them straight into the darkness. Then came the sound. A meow, slow, drawn out. But it wasn't just a meow, there was something else, something human. They followed, like puppets pulled by invisible strings. The house of mirrors stood open. The darkness inside was dense, suffocating. Shattered mirrors reflected distorted images, but not all of them were theirs. In the cracks, a smile began to form. First, the thin, exaggerated teeth, then the yellow eyes, still, watching Felix. He didn't move. He simply smiled. The mirrors started to crack. A muffled laugh filled the air, and then he vanished. But the sound remained, the sound of claws scratching metal. They ran, but the park was no longer the same. The paths folded in on themselves, the rides moved on their own, and Felix was everywhere, leaping from one corner to another like a living shadow. There was no escape. The carousel began to spin by itself. The childish melody played in a slow, warped tone, mocking them. At the top of the Ferris wheel, he watched, motionless, smiling, and then one of them disappeared. No screams, no struggle, just gone. All that remained was a fallen flashlight and paw prints leading into nothingness. The entire park was a maze, shaped by him, built to play. But Felix didn't hunt. He waited. He was patient. He knew that sooner or later, all paths led back to him. And so, one by one, they vanished, until only one remained, Clara. She found the old office, covered in dust, burnt papers scattered everywhere. But one cassette tape remained intact. She pressed play, static. Then a trembling voice. The prototype wouldn't stop smiling. They said it was a design flaw, but I saw it. It moved on its own. It listens. Silence. I tried to burn it, but it doesn't burn. It doesn't disappear. It wants to play. The tape warped. Then a deep meow echoed. The park hadn't been abandoned. It had been sealed. But now, the door was open. The park trembled. The rides groaned. The shadows stretched. And Felix was waiting. He didn't run, he didn't attack, he watched, and he smiled. The park began to collapse, but he stood still. The smile never faded, and then silence. Days later, among the ruins, a smile was carved into the concrete, and beside it, a single phrase, "Shall we play again?" If you've listened this far, it's because you want to play too. But remember, some doors were never meant to be opened.